A lot of our immigrant brothers and sisters seem to believe that traveling abroad, especially to the UK recently, will solve all of our problems. And I'm going to share today things that you must consider if you're ever thinking of settling abroad. It's not as easy as just having a visa and traveling. A lot of us now, even when we are given visas, we take a step back and we think, will this country suit me? Are all these videos about the UK sinking true? Is life abroad not as easy as we used to think? Is it all a myth? Is it just people selling a dream that does not exist? Is it neo-colonialism? Maybe I am better off where I am. We are having all of these positive conversations. It's not to deter people from coming abroad, but it's giving you the information that you need to make an informed decision. And I love that. I love the fact that we are getting to that point where we don't believe that the be-all and end-all of living a successful life as an African lies in you coming abroad. It doesn't have to be the UK. It could be Canada, it could be US, but I think all these countries have different pull and push factors. What I want to talk about in this video today is relevant to the present time and the fact that things are not the way they were before, and the circumstances that immigrants are moving, especially Africans, to Europe, especially to the UK, it's different. So we need to take everything into consideration before we make the big leap. I'll talk about mainly 6 broad things that my brother, my sister, if you're looking to travel, ask yourself these questions now. If you answer no to any of them, hold up, just wait without your visa or your application or the money that you've been saving and you're trying to use it to either travel abroad, to study, or to come and get work experience, or to get like a sponsorship visa. Ask yourself these questions. First thing first, are you organized? I know that this might sound, what do you mean? Let me tell you. When we were younger, a lot of parents, when they had kids, right? If you have an organized, quiet, calm, predictable child who is always doing well in school, people often think, send them to the UK, they'll do well, because the system does not accept BS. Excuse my French, you know what I mean. It's a no tolerance zone. When my mom initially started coming here like 10 years ago, she kept saying, oh my God, this country. She kept saying how organized the country was, in the sense that if you don't have your documents, don't touch a car. Even when you have documents, make sure your documents are all intact, right? There's certain things like, oh, don't drive on a bus lane because the ticket will follow you. That could be everywhere else. But in the UK, I think they make people a lot more organized. It's harder to get away with crimes. It's harder to drive without insurance. It's harder not to MOT your car. It's harder to have a license that was not valid. If you have a ticket, it will follow you to your house. You'll have points on your license. There's certain things that back home, we don't really know that they exist, and some people come naively and think it's just as good as, you know, getting into the car, using your international passport and driving. This country will humble you. The level of organization that you need to have here. I have been to most other countries in Europe. I've been to the US, been to Canada. Yes, there is a bit of that, but in the UK, if you're in the UK, you know what I mean. I mean, you will stand on a queue to drop your kids off in the morning at school. I am telling you, you stand on a queue for everything, to spend your money, to give a service that people need from you. You stand even to take away the queue for everything. It's not really about the queuing. It's about the mentality and how organized the system generally is. And if you're not an organized person, you know, when I go home and I go like to the shops and people just cut the queue, I lose it, because this country has taught me to do things straight and narrow. If you know you're not that kind of person, you're going to struggle. Honestly, the number of immigrants who back in the day found themselves back home by touching a steering, if they've had a drink, even if they've not drank, if you don't have papers, you can just get stopped by police randomly. You need to be careful that if you're not an organized human being, have all of your tax, have all of your insurance at home, your phone, pay your bills on time. Do not ignore letters. Make sure that you have your documents kept somewhere for an audit trail. These are things that might sound pretty obvious, but I'm telling you, it's taken me a while to get this organized. The number of fines, a little thing that you don't pay, you know, maybe you park somewhere, you get a ticket, life gets busy, you don't check it. That could lead you to anything, as much as even a case, going to court. Don't ignore letters. And that is where a lot of our money goes, because you'll see this fine, £40, £50, 60. Before you know, you've paid so much money to His Majesty and you're thinking, what have I done? Number 2, if you have kids, come in front. Let's talk about it. If you're coming with your family like an adult from back home in Africa, let us have this conversation. Once you get here, please remove your African parents' hood, shirt, eyes, glasses, and persona, and let's talk realistically. You actually only own the kids because their DNA. These kids belong to the system. I'm sorry to say that, but if you live in the UK, you live abroad, you know what I mean, especially the UK, and we've seen a lot of stories of what happens. Your kids, you need to stop the mentality. Yes, what we grew up knowing was right. Okay, you might be right, but we're going to put that in the back burner, and we're going to learn to adopt the new ways of living. The new way of living is letting the kids be expressive, not touching them physically. I know that it's hard, or doing that within reason, because in this community, they groom the kids to have a different mentality. By all means, do your best with your kids at home. But one thing that you should not be naive in thinking is that when they get here, they will not hear their friends, they will not get coached. So you need to really be careful in terms of what exactly you tell them, how you talk to them. Everything is abuse. Emotional, they cry, they go to school, the teachers cry. Yeah, bad parents. You do this, we're trying to correct them, it's for the right reasons, but you know what? Be careful. That is one of the biggest challenges that people have. Even as a couple, it could cause people to even break up, develop all sorts, because it's a system that we're not used to. It's a way of life that we've never dealt with. It's not the same. We don't even know how it works. So please, if you have kids and you live in this part of the world, just be mindful how you treat them, how you talk to them, and remember that if you're not a hands-on father or mother, I'll talk about fathers more because African fathers are not really hands-on like that. You have the kids, you don't really know what it means to get up at night. Here you will. Even if you don't wake up at night because you're working, your wife is not working, trust me, you'll still have some sort of involvement. You change diapers. If you guys live a normal immigrant life where both of you have to work, especially to make ends meet, she'll go to work very early on. You'll stay with the kids. You will prepare their food. In fact, you'll start meal prepping for your children. You make their lunches. You will take them to activities. You will not have a life. That thing that you do, especially, I think this is even worse for people who have lived their lives already back home. You're used to the nannies, the free way of living without really knowing if they've done their homework. You have people you can pay here, and then you come here after having kids. The switch, the transition can throw you apart. For some of us who had our kids here, all of them when we're younger, it's different. We're kind of adapt to the system and we're used to it, and we find people back home really lucky. But if you're doing the other switch, please consider this, because if you're not ready to be a hands-on father, I don't mean a father who will sit down from a distance. I mean to be so involved with your kids. That will not just be you. That's what everybody does to survive, because we don't have help. You will make the bottles, you will feed them, you will take them out, you will bathe them, you would hold them, you will be on calls with them, they'll be making noise, all of that, okay? That is something for you to be very mindful of. Number 3, if you struggle mentally, generally, you are easily low, you can easily get depressed. I'll consider if you want to come to the UK in particular. This country has a way that it will make you depressed. I'm sorry, I have to say it. People are coping different means. Some people do videos, have hobbies, save up and go travel in the summer. Even the Brits do that. It's the weather. We are an island. Look at the map. We're in the middle of nowhere. If you travel an hour, 2 hours in the summer, you go to Spain, go to Germany, go to any of these countries, there is sunshine, there is proper summer. Vitamin D is important for your mental health in every aspect of your life. But when you find yourself in this place, months on end, especially if you are working so hard, you leave the house in the morning, you work all day, you sit in a brown building, you sit with people on desk, or you're in a factory, you don't talk much, they're not very chatty, so you struggle with that. You get home, winter, in and out in the dark, this can have its toll on you. Anything will flip you over. I mean, flip you completely over. And then that's when people start developing mental crisis. The numbers are so high. People don't talk about it, but it does exist. And I think that the weather has a big part to play. So if you're somebody who just generally, you struggle with cold weather, you struggle with it being, you struggle with not having your sunshine, please rethink and rethink again. If you really want to stay here, if you want to move here and start it, because we don't have the best weather, and this weather has a direct impact on our mental health, vitamin D, our moods, and just generally the way we live. It's not to scare you, it's just to tell you that there are other neighboring countries. So I've said, let's not always just think that because we speak English in the UK, it's the best place. It's not. There are other things you need to consider. Number 4, if you are a traditional man, come. Talk about traditional African man. We know what we mean. A man who will go out, work hard. Okay, let me tell you what they do. You go out, you work hard, you play hard, right? That's what they consider balance. I give you everything you want, madam. What is your problem? I can leave the house in the morning. I'll go and work. At the end of the month, don't you see the money that you expect? Yes. Are you living a good life? Yes. Do you have what you, this is to your wife, do you have everything that you've asked for, everything that you need? If the answer is yes, they're often like, you don't have a problem. Here, drop it. You know how you go to work in the morning and after that you branch and go and see your friends and you guys drink, right? You go, you have your meal, you stay out till whenever. Don't try that here. This is a warning. Don't try that here. You try that here. Okay, first of all, you will not even have people to go and hang out with. So let me just burst your bubble. So even if you want to and your wife says go, you will not have people who have the time, because everybody else is going through what you're going through. In the sense that they wake up in the morning, they have to get ready, go to work, finish work, swap shifts with their partners on the door. The kids are waiting for homework, after school club, swimming, gymnastics, football, tennis. You don't have a life when you have children. Remember I mentioned activities, it will take over your life. So that social life, work-life balance, it's not here. You have to create it weekends with your family. Not the traditional man who will say, I'm going out with my lads. No. If you are a young couple without kids, you might be able to meet people young like you anyway. That's true. But if you're planning to have kids, have a family, if you're a single man, just pass on this one. Enjoy your life. You find single people like you who can gel. But if you're a family person, most people who come here now are family people who come to work. They're coming for financial reasons, so there's no faffing about. They think that they'll have time for socializing. You work all that money, you pay the tax. Even when you want to go and get a drink, you still pay tax on it. Every penny counts, so you would not have that work-life balance. And just on this same point, a sub point on this one, yeah? Number 4.1 is the mentality that your wife and yourself, this is for men and women who come or who have been used to working and the money is theirs, and the husband's money is both of them. It doesn't work here, madam. Okay, both of your income, every penny will make a difference. Life is so expensive, and when you come, you will not really be earning that much because you're trying to get into the system. So everybody's paycheck goes a very long way. So I'll just want to advise you in advance that if you have done the maths, you'll be earning £2,000-3,000, I don't know how much, and you think that that's all yours, think again, because you people will split the bills to survive. Except you have money somewhere kept, ignore this video. But if you're living like everybody else, forget it. It's not going to work. I just want to mention that disclaimer. So every penny you work is both of your income. Both of you will need to contribute. So before you come, before you think that all your family black tax problems or your relatives, you're going to solve the problem with your paycheck, please think again. Do your maths properly before you come, because if you're thinking that your man will look after you fully, then I think it's a fallacy that I want to dream, but it's a dream. It's not a reality. And that goes for the man. So if you think that you become a misogynistic man because you give her money here, you might even turn and she earns more than you. It doesn't mean that you're not a man. Your testosterone has not been reduced. You still have your testosterone in place, but it just means that the way we live is different. You might have to do activities that she does. You might have to pound fufu, make soup, cook, even bulk cook. You have to do all of those things. So the roles are a bit different. And this is something that is causing a lot of marriages nowadays to crumble, because most of you coming now come as older people. I'm going to do a separate video maybe after this on a lot of this bad press of how UK spoils marriages. Let's hold it right there. It might for newbies, not for the old ones who know exactly what it is. You guys come with different expectations. Let me not digress. Let me stick to the point, the topic of things to consider. And the last thing I will talk about is work. Okay, you need to reconsider before you come here is the work ethics and looking for work. You must start from humble beginnings. A lot of people who have had big jobs, banking jobs, IT jobs, all sorts of high-powered jobs, they come here and they struggle. They struggle because it's hard to find work. They come here, they want to get into maybe care just to get the visas, and then they start. People will tell them, oh, you can switch. When you get here, you earn this much in IT. And a lot of people struggle because, one, there's the work, different sort of work ethics. There's being used to the way the country functions. You know, the way you work back home, the 9-to-5 life, the work environment is very different from here. Of course, expectedly so. And we are often faced with a different sort of challenge when we come here. A challenge where you have to fit in, you have to sound like them, they have to understand you, you have to have work experience sometimes that they want to see, they want to track. They might say your education is not here. So just to manage your expectations, you might have a 2-1, you might have had a good degree, but the transferable skills might be lacking. And I'm going to actually say that a lot of immigrants now are finding their feet. To this problem, there is a solution, you know, but knowledge is power. And when people come here, you get sold the dream, you end up working in a factory, doing a minimum wage job, working in a care home for years. What you were promised, you don't get it. Some people manage to switch visas, some people manage to retrain, and that's why I have actually spoken about Tenalytics at an IT training company. They're into the tech world and they are very current. What they do actually, what is quite impressive is not only do they provide you training and understand the fields that are in high demand, not just in the UK, in Canada and the US, in most countries they put a lot of people through, and their niche is really, the niche is immigrants, because we find ourselves always lost. We don't know what to do. We don't know which areas to go to. We don't understand the right sectors to move into because IT is so broad. They'll take you, see your skills, your past experience, and help you. There's business analytics, there's project management, there are different IT roles that they'll put you through, and they don't only train you for you to fit in the UK, they help you with one of the most important things, and that's like post-education advice. They mentor you, they help with your CV, and they give you work experience on the job so that you have like a portfolio. So when you are doing your care job, while you're trying to transition, you can do it on the side because you can do all of this remotely, so that when it's time, you're able to still keep your job, not lose that income, and then hopefully get yourself employed in a field that will not only pay you, but it will give you a long-lasting career. So I will actually put a link if you're interested. I have spoken about them countless times because the testimonials are great, and they target us, immigrants, Africans in the diaspora struggling. We've had cases of people who have been in the health sector, nurses, care workers, stay-at-home moms who have transitioned, earning 6 figures. It is something to look into. So yes, before you think that all hope is lost, it's not always lost. There is a big possibility that you can come here and make it big. If you want to be mentored by Tenalytics, I'm going to on the description of this email, have a link where if you click on that, you can have somebody who will talk to you, book an appointment, and find out where you are, what you're doing at the moment, how they can help you to pivot to get your dream role. And yeah, please, once you do that, come back and let's share our testimonials. But you need to have what? You need to have what? Knowledge. Knowledge is power. So don't slack on always asking, finding out what you need to do, and most importantly, stay humble, stay informed, and remember that what is most important is your mental health. So before we jump on the bandwagon of wanting to come abroad, consider all of this. I hope that this video helps somebody. As usual, if you found this helpful, give us a like, consider subscribing, and share if I've left anything out, one of the biggest shockers or things to consider before coming here. Please leave that in the comment section. And as always, my name is Lulu. This is Lulu Diaries, where I share thoughts, my life in the UK, things that I wish I knew, and things that I wish I was told. Until the next time, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.